Welcome to lesson 57 of course 2. In this lesson we're going to mainly deal with negative exponents. Our only vocabulary is a histogram, and we're not really going to use this. So let's first take a look here. So 1 times negative 12 really means this. Just look right here. Reason why is because if we were to start over here and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, we would see that it is 1 times 10 to the negative 12. So let's see how we get to that, why it is that we do that. In this first example, we have 5 tens over 3 tens. And as we cancel out, we see that we have 10 to the 2. What we're doing here is we're subtracting 5 minus 3 and coming up with 2. So knowing that we're going to do that, take a look at this one here, and you can see 4 minus 3 makes it 10 to the 1, and anything to the power 1 is itself. Here we got 3 minus 3, which is 10 to the 0, and we know that 10 to the 0 equals 1. Anything to the 0 power becomes 1. Now, it gets a little bit tricky right here, because 2 minus 3 is negative 1. So think of the top half being positive and the bottom half being negative. When we cancel out, we have one negative 10 left over. So we call that a negative 1. So 10 to the negative 1 becomes 1 over 10, or 1 over 10 to the first power. So on this last one, we see 1 minus 3 is 10 to the negative 2, which is really 1 to the 100. The reason why is because 10 to the negative 2 becomes 10 to the second power, and 10 times 10 equals 100. That's what we're going to learn in this lesson. So as we talked about on the previous slide, these are the most important things to remember. The others you pretty much know. But 10 to the 0 equals 1. 10 to the negative 1 equals 1 over 10 to the 1. 10 to the negative 2 is 1 over 10 to 2. So the rule is right down here, meaning that any number to a negative exponent gets converted into 1 over that number to that exponent. I know that's a little bit confusing, but let's practice it a little bit. So 2 to the 0, what does that equal? Well, as you can tell right here, I got a little help here, but you're not always going to have this. That's going to equal 1, because anything to the 0 exponent is 1. It could be 500 to the 0, it'd still be 1. Okay, 3 to the negative 2 means we're going to put 1, we're going to put the 3 in the bottom, we're going to put the second power, which is going to equal 1/9, because 3 times 3 equals 9. So doing that same thing on C here, what would you say that 10 to the negative 3 is? Well, if you write it with an exponent, you're going to write it just like this. But if you're going to solve it, you're going to write it like this, because 10 times 10 times 10 equals 1,000. Okay, so knowing that, let's take a look at this. This is written in scientific notation, and that's positive. What happens when it's positive? That just means we're going to take the number and we're just going to move it. In this case here, we've moved it over 7 places. So this number, it becomes 10 to the 7. Or if we reverse it, it would become 63,200,000. If an exponent is negative, we shift the decimal point to the left and write the number in standard form. So where it's positive, we shifted it to the right. We started here and we shifted it to the right. On this one here, we're going to start at the 6 and we're going to shift it to the left. So we start right here and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And it becomes 0.0000632. In either case, we use zeros as a placeholder. So let's try a couple of these. So write 4.63 times 10 to the negative 8 in standard notation. Okay, so we're going to take our 4.63. We're going to write that. And because it's negative 8, we're going to move our decimal to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Rewrite your decimal and then fill this in with zeros. So our answer should be 0.00000000463. Get the idea? You just got to remember, if it's negative, you move it to the left. If it's positive, you're moving it to the right. Okay, so let's write this one. Take it from 0.000033 and put it in scientific notation. The way we're going to do this is we're going to need to be moving it to the right. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we know we moved it 6. So we've got 3.3 times 10 to the negative 6. Okay, so let's compare 0 to 1 times 10 to the negative 3. Well, you know that 10 to the negative 3 is 1/1000th. Well, is this smaller than 1 or bigger than 1? Well, it's smaller than 1, and it's also smaller than 0. So 0 is going to be less than that, because anything bigger than 0 is bigger than 0, right? So if this had become a 1, then it would change the sign. Okay, let's practice. Let's do these 4 practice. See if you can do these on your own. Solve all 4 of them and then continue the video to see the answers. This first one, we have 5 to the negative 2, so that's going to be 1 over 5 to the 2. So that's going to be 1 over 25, because 5 times 5 is 25. This one here is 10 to the negative 4, so that's going to be 1 over 10 to the 4th. So that's going to be 1 over 10,000. This one here, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's going to be 2.5 times 10 to the negative 7. And this one here, we're going to go 1.25. We're going to move it over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fill in our zeros. We have 0.00000125. Hopefully you came up with those same answers. If not, we'll practice them tomorrow. Let's take a look. Make sure we got them all right. Looks like we did. We like when that happens. Okay, here are your tickets in the door. Do these problems. If you have questions, bring them tomorrow. We'll do them together in class. Thank you for watching the video.